edition of Drive Home Reviews, a very special edition of Drive Home Reviews, because I have with me today some wonderful co-hosts, and you can see the our main special guest in the back. So once again, I am joined by my beautiful girlfriend Rebecca and our very special reviewer River. So how you doing back there, kid? Good. All right. So we decided to bring River along because we're reviewing one that's in her wheelhouse. You know, obviously she is the target demographic for the latest Disney offering. So
we're reviewing Raya and the Last Dragon.
There you go. Excellent. So yes, Raya the Last Dragon, the latest from the House of Mouse. So how to get into this, really? First of all, I think the story is pretty interesting. It was how do you describe the story of this?
Well, I was actually a little bit worried when we first started watching that it was just going to be a girl version of How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
You know, but because especially at the beginning they have this whole sequence talking about how the dragons were there and then they weren't anymore.
Like, it was like how the dragons were like, they brought water and rain and peace, and then they weren't there because the drones just turned them into stone. But the last dragon made a orb out of all her magic, and then
it drove the drone away.
Yeah.
Right. So it was a different story than what we had seen before, I think, and it really started off establishing that Asian kind of art.
Yeah, very. I thought it was going to be kind of, in terms of visual style, it's going to be a little closer to Mulan, but it's actually using a lot of other Asian cultures like Tibet and Vietnam, Indonesia.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the opening narration, the exposition dump is all like in the style of Indonesian shadow puppets, which I thought was really cool.
Yes. Very stylistic, very pretty.
So as Ruby says, the Last Dragon created this orb of magic, and that was entrusted to the people of, what was it, Heart,
yes.
Heart, which includes our main character, Raya, and
I think it's pronounced Raya.
Raya?
Yeah, it's Raya.
Raya?
Raya.
Raya.
Okay.
We need a consensus on this. So anyway, the world is split into different factions, because of course it has, each one named after a part of the dragon. What was it? Fang, tail, spine, talon, and heart. There you go. So kind of like the Planeteers, but not. And
when they're all together, they're Kumandra.
Yeah, is it Kumandra?
Kumandra? I think so.
Kumandra, I can't remember. But anyway, so the Land of Heart has been entrusted with this stone. The other people want it. Yes, go ahead.
So the last dragon's name was also
Sisu.
Sisu. And I was thinking of Sisu, and one of the words on my thing was snow, and I spelled it like Sisu, but with a G.
Okay. For her spelling test.
She was accidentally spelling Sisu.
But, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, the rest of the tribes come to Heart. Raya's father invites them. The Heart thing.
They're trying to unify because
they're trying to turn it back into like
Kumandra,
but no one wants to do this. And then Raya, I think that's the name, right? Raya.
Yeah.
She was like, there was this other girl.
Namari. I want to say it's Namari.
Yeah, Namari was being really friendly, and then they had lots of in common, and they were talking, and then Raya showed them the magic orb that they were keeping, and then Namari stabbed her in the back and pushed her, and then called her tribe to help her to feed Raya and her dad went, and then like a thing on the wall broke off, and
So they are the when we go back, it's the actual plotline, the actual storyline of the movie. Basically, is involving Raya trying to gather these pieces and defeat the Droon again and bring everybody back to life.
And in doing so, she finds the last dragon, the one who cast the spell, Sisu. Voiced by who? You know how to pronounce her name. Awkwafina. I always mispronounce the poor girl's name.
Yeah.
And going along, kind of, it's very Disney. You know, obviously they go and they find new friends and allies. They form kind of a Fellowship of the Ring kind of thing. Fellowship of the Ring meets Infinity Stones.
Fellowship of the Ring with not nearly as much walking and
not
boredom.
Yeah, not nearly as boring. So, you know, and they bring it all together with the power of love and friendship.
Trust.
The
power of trust.
The power of trust, love, and friendship. That's what we... So there's the basic plot line. So...
Yeah.
The animation is
amazing.
Yes,
yeah?
It's really beautiful.
It is.
It looks better than most cartoons.
Yeah?
Yeah. The way that the dragon, the look of the dragon, it's like furry kind of.
Yeah.
Well, it's an Asian dragon.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's furry, and so the colors are just beautiful.
Purple and blue, like really light purple and blue. It is a very colorful movie. It's very rainbow and everything in its color palette. But yeah, the animation is really gorgeous. So
How are we gonna explain like what happened in the movie?
Well, I think that we'll let the people.
well, we go a little bit of spoilers, but we try to let folks go and see it for themselves if they want to. But we do talk about the different parts. So, River, what's your favorite part of the movie? What was your favorite moment? All right,
Okay,
we'll come back to it.
But I did enjoy, like I said, that the movement of the dragons and I will never get over the movement of hair in animation. It just looks so beautiful. And I liked Awkwafina as Sisu. I thought that she had this. She has a very childlike and playful and fun spirit, but that doesn't take away from the fact that she is a wise, mature being, that she's trying to impart this wisdom and do the right thing with Raya.
I have two favorite parts of the movie.
Okay, what's your two favorite parts?
So my one favorite part is when she gets the orb and then she turns into a human, that orb.
Okay.
And then she just says, "Oh my gosh, my butt is so close to my head." And then I just stop laughing. And then my other favorite part is when they're on the boat and the big guy is talking and
Tong.
Tong was talking and he was talking about how, what's the baby's name again?
Noi.
How he said no, and he was saying Noi was her name, and then they're like, what? And then he just said, have none of you checked her follow?
So yeah, all the little sidekicks that they end up coming along on the way are pretty interesting. Tong is one of the warriors.
Noi is like a little baby with monkeys whose family turned to stone.
Yeah, a little orphan baby with monkey sidekicks.
And Boone, the kid who runs the boat.
Yeah.
Right.
The boat restaurant that they use to escape. I actually really liked all of the I'm just going to call them the Fellowship of the Orb there. I thought they were a lot of really fun characters.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I thought Boone was going to be annoying at first,
Right.
but he wasn't. I was very proud. I thought a lot of the characters were going to be annoying, and then they ended up not being annoying, which I'm always really happy about, because there was so much potential for them to be annoying, and they totally sidestepped it, which I am always happy about. So they have a very low tolerance for annoyance in my animated movies, which disqualifies me from a lot of them.
Anything from Pixar.
Pretty much. Upon reflection, I ended up really liking Awkwafina as the dragon. The only thing that I was thinking about is they set up, and they did kind of pay it off, but I don't think it was paid off quite clearly enough for my taste. They set up that she is supposed to kind of be, she states herself as kind of the outcast of the dragon, or like the least capable of the dragons, and that's why they had chosen her to, bear the orb originally. And I don't know, that never felt like it paid off.
Well, I think that she didn't see herself. I don't think she just thinks her special power is swimming, when in reality, her special power is like her trust and her ability to see the good in people.
Okay.
Like, that's the impression that I got.
Okay, fair enough. They kind of, they felt like they gave a setup, and maybe I wasn't paying attention enough to the payoff for it. But I actually liked Awkwafina, and I love the animation on the dragon.
I think that the vocal acting was very, very good. I didn't have any
strong cast.
Yeah, like I think
with a lot of great actors
and predominantly Asian actors.
Well, the only non-Asian actor I think was Alan Tudyk. Alan Tudyk as, of course, the big Tuk, the big his.
It's like a roly-poly thing.
Yeah, his new steady job of being the animals in Disney movies. Which, good work if you can get it.
I mean, you show up, you balk like a chicken for a little while, and you get paid.
I mean, because Benedict Wong was Tong. One of my favorite actors, Daniel Dae Kim, because Daniel Dae Kim is just awesome.
Yeah.
Plays Raya's father.
Well, Kelly Marie Tran played Raya.
Yeah.
Kelly Marie Tran of Star Wars fame. So
that poor girl who got
just massacred by the family
for no reason.
No, she had a great role. I loved Rose.
Yeah, so I'm glad to see she kind of got this one.
Yeah.
So Rivy, let's ask you. So, in terms of your favorite Disney characters, where would you say a character like Raya ranks?
Like on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah, scale of 1 to 10. Well, the character herself, our lead.
As
our
a
lead.
princess, Raya.
As a princess, like, are you counting like Moana, even though she's not a princess?
That's up to you.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Then I think that I count Moana as about 8.5.
8.5? All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I enjoyed her. I think that she played it straight pretty well, which is what you need when you have Awkwafina Sisu playing the childlike goofball. So I think that she did a really good job with that.
I like that she was I'm going to use the blanket term, a princess. I like that she was a princess or a protagonist with a very discernible character arc. She wasn't all sweetness and goodness,
right?
All through. She went out for revenge. She was motivated by kind of the propaganda of we're all supposed to hate each other,
right? Kind
of thing, and she had to learn a lesson, as we do in these films. So
really, the static character in this would be Sisu.
Yeah.
And the antagonist is also female. So not only do we have a female protagonist with no discernible love interest at all, unless you count like my older daughter Violet is assuming that Raya and the antagonist are in a secret love
Antagonist,
relationship.
or you mean
But yeah, no discernible love interest, and you have a female protagonist and a female antagonist in this movie. Not to mention the female, what do you want to call it, like magical creature. Yeah.
So predominantly female led too.
Right.
I like the antagonist. She had kind of a Prince Zuko thing.
Yeah.
Going on. But yeah, I also thought the animation on the fight sequences was pretty good. I find animated fight sequences are kind of hit and miss.
Right.
And I thought,
yeah.
So they must have. I can only imagine they had like models or folks coming who actually choreograph the
I think you would have to with this kind of fighting.
You know, because it was really well done, and I liked the inventive nature of having Raya use the sword with kind of the chains in between it.
That was really cool.
The chain link sword.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So let's go to this. So what did you not like about the movie, Rivy? Anything you didn't like?
That one's harder.
Okay. Okay, think about it. All right. I'll go and I'll say the main thing I didn't like about it was it has some very anachronistic dialogue. The dialogue sounds a little too hip and modern.
That is going to date the movie. It's not going to be as
and it really, especially in a film like this, where yes, they're setting it's a fantasy world, but it's very heavily influenced by a real time period, not just a real place, but a real time period. It really sticks out when people are talking, text speak.
Yeah, super fan.
In a it to me it just reeks of 40-year-old writers going, this is what the hip kids like to say.
Well, I mean, and
I know what my least favorite part is.
Oh yeah?
Well,
give me 1 second.
With the writers, when we did the writers who did write this movie are predominantly writing more, adult drama kind of stuff. So they're doing that kind of language, saying things like I'm a super fan or I'm a dragon nerd or things like that. And yeah, maybe not so much kid language, but also not so much. If you're going to be in a fantasy film and you're going to set it in a fantasy land that doesn't actually exist, and you're putting all of this in, don't use I mean,
you don't need the buzzwords. Kids don't need buzzwords in order to connect with something.
Right.
So that's kind of my least favorite part, honestly. Rivy, you said you had one?
Yeah, my least favorite part's probably when Raya accidentally kills the last dragon.
Oh yeah.
Because
spoilers.
Because the last person because the person who was gonna shoot wasn't gonna shoot, and then Raya pulled her sword thingy out and hit the thing into the wall, but she accidentally made the arrow shoot.
That was very emotion evoking.
It really was. I gotta say, I was not expecting to have the feels.
Yeah.
For because I'm old and jaded. But I gotta say, spoilers. But by this point, I think most people have seen the movie, so it doesn't really matter. When they decide to kind of reabsorb or reform the orb with the power of trust and love and friendship, and they decide that the villain is actually going to be the one to handle it, and not our title hero, which I thought was a cool touch.
Yeah.
But that was because no one trusted her, so she decided to give it to the person that they didn't think they would trust.
So they had to portray the trust.
So you can see that the themes come through very clearly. The audience gets it. But when they do that, and they all kind of one-to-one or one-by-one turn to stone, I got that same kind of choked up feeling I got at the end of Infinity War.
Right.
When everyone's turning to dust. So, I was actually kind of surprised. I was like, oh, the feels.
Yeah. So,
especially for Benedict Wong and the baby. I thought they were...
I know.
They were adorable.
Such a sweet relationship.
And he's just kind of holding her, and he's just like, he's a big monster of a man. How about you, baby? Least favorite parts or things that didn't work?
Least favorite... I would be hard-pressed to say something that I didn't think actually worked. I think that the language, like you said, didn't suit what it needed to. I also think that eventually Disney is going to stop dancing around it and just have a homosexual relationship in a movie. This one felt kind of the same way that Frozen 2 did, where they were alluding to something, but not really stepping over the line, which I get it, Disney, but eventually you're gonna have to just
yeah, it's a really thin line. It's a really, really difficult line, especially from a business standpoint. Now, emotionally, yeah, I think kids like that need to see someone like them represented, definitely. Right. But I can definitely understand it from their point of view, as they need to make money.
Right.
And doing that's going to bring a lot of boycotts and a lot of... But then again, by that same argument, I mean, quite frankly, what the hell do they care? They make all the money in the world. Anybody who boycotts that is going to go see the next 20 Marvel films, so...
I mean, it's true.
So who...
I mean, really, Disney owns everything at this point.
What are you going to boycott, really?
But I did appreciate, though, that the female antagonist, I want to say her name is Narima?
No.
Naima.
No.
I don't remember.
I don't remember, but I just know it's
Okay, anyways, the female antagonist, who is a princess herself. She's the princess.
Yeah, they're both princesses.
Of Talon. No, Fang.
Fang, you're right.
Princess of Fang. She had a very androgynous kind of look. She had the undercut hair. She wasn't super feminine, and Raya wasn't either, although her hair was still long. So,
yeah, you're right. The big guy was kind of more feminine.
Right.
Of all of them.
So I really appreciated her. I really appreciated the more not uber feminine princess look.
Say what, River? Yes, the baby was the one from Talon. You're right.
So yeah. Oh yeah, I guess they did end up each being.
Yeah, well, that was supposed to be the thing. They picked up someone new, kind of like the Wizard of Oz. They picked up a new member of the.
Oh my gosh.
The fellowship at each.
Put together that they were all from different places.
Yeah. Boone was from Tail.
Yeah.
So what was the last place?
Fang. So that would have been the other princess. That would have been the villain.
There was another one.
Spine. So that was.
Spine was the big guy.
That was the big guy. Yeah.
So that was another thing, though, that each area looked distinctively like a different part of Asia. Like, it was very clear that they were different.
Yeah.
Represented different places.
Going back to kind of the conversation just a second ago, I liked the androgynous look. I liked the, I can understand why they're doing it the way they're doing it. Let's leave it kind of up to the audiences.
Right.
Let's leave it up to their interpretation. But yeah, eventually they're going to have to pull the trigger.
Right.
You're going to have to do this, guys. Just bite the bullet, do it, rip the Band-Aid off, and they're going to have an out gay character.
Right.
Like in one of these movies, they're going to have to have an out gay princess, I think, because they're going to have to do that at some point.
Yes.
I think that really, honestly, coming from both a mom standpoint and a woman standpoint, I really kind of dug the movie. Like, I thought it had a really cool message behind it. I thought it was interesting. It kept my attention the whole time.
Yeah.
I had some cute characters.
Yeah, it's a very cute. I thought the characters were the biggest strength.
Oh, honestly. I love the characters. The gay
See, now that is an interesting thing. That's a very good question, because I was actually thinking that last night too, Rivy, is that they've teased Elsa,
right,
and they've teased these two, but they've never teased a male character,
right, being gay. They really need to have a Disney Prince movie. Like, they don't really have a Disney Prince movie.
I didn't think Elsa was gay.
But again, it's interpretation. A lot of people kind of read that,
right?
So it's until they kind of do a movie and say, yes, she is or isn't.
I know. Which it could be coming, because I've
heard that it is
gay characters on the Disney Channel shows.
Yeah. Well, like I say, I hate to say it, but it is one of those things I think you have to build towards.
Yeah.
Get people comfortable with it, and then go, hey, there it is.
Mm-hmm. like I said, as a woman, I appreciate the strong female characters. I appreciate like not being talked down to or made to feel like, oh, she's super special because she's a princess warrior. Like, I love Mulan, but yeah, it was like a big deal. She had to pretend to be a man so that she could be a warrior. And I appreciated something like this when you put it in a fantasy world like this. She could just be strong with no qualification. Like, you know.
At the time, women couldn't go to war, so they had to stay back. And men wanted to go to war so bad that teenagers, like 10 years old, lied about their age so they could go to war.
It's a crazy world we live in, child. But yeah.
Actually learning that.
Well, it's actually what would be interesting. This is something. This is not a bad thing about this movie. It's just something in general. I'd love it if they did one of these movies, and I know they're like the Disney Princess brand. I'd love if they did one of these movies where the main character wasn't the daughter of the chief or the if they were someone, I'm gonna say average.
Princess Tiana.
You know,
she didn't start off as a princess.
Well, see,
she
there
started
you go.
off as a waitress.
You know,
And Cinderella,
You know.
exactly. Cinderella was in the
But they're-
ashes.
What if there was one where there was a completely random person and they didn't turn out to be a princess, they turned out to be a warrior?
see, that's what I'm kind of talking about. Is they still have kind of a slight hint of the chosen one narrative.
Yeah.
Slight hint. They're not going full board with it, but it's a slight hint of the chosen one narrative. And it'd be like you say, it'd be neat to see one of these ones where the character was not, you know, already kind of in the upper class. They were, you know, I don't want to say normal, but you know,
Interesting.
a common person, I guess.
Common person.
That's-
Oh,
like
you
that-
common
like that's
people.
nicer than normal, I guess.
Yeah. Just common. We're just common, that's all.
But you know, that's neither here nor there.
If rich people called every single person that wasn't rich a common person, then we'd be common.
That's I'm pretty common.
You're totally uncommon.
So, before we give final grades, any final thoughts? Anything that we want to talk about this movie before we wrap it up?
Give more parts to Kelly Marie Tran and, you know, Asian actors in general. Let's do that more.
I thought it was amazing about like how all the dragons had to put the trust into one dragon, so that like 100 years later, the same thing happened but with people.
Right.
Very good. So yeah, good storytelling. Bookending.
And my favorite part of the watching experience was when Tuk Tuk, the rolly animal thing, got big after a few years.
Yeah,
and
he starts out like tiny and cute.
And then now he's like horse size, and River starts going, he's bigger than Brandon! He's bigger than Brandon! Because apparently that
is the standard for size. I'm a unit of measurement. How many Brandons is that is that thing?
Maybe two.
Maybe 2 Brandons?
Maybe a half of a Brandon.
Maybe a half of a Brandon. Okay. All right. 2.5 of Brandon. Okay. Okay. So let's wrap this up. Rivi. So from A to F, just like we're in school, what grade would you give this movie?
A Z minus.
A Z.
I give it an A minus.
A minus. All right.
I thought it was really amazing, but like at the ending, I didn't like I said, I didn't like how she would kill the last dragon.
Okay. So that's an A minus from Rivi, baby. How about you? What's your final grade for this one?
I also didn't like how she betrayed them.
Okay.
Okay. I think it's a solid A for me. I'm not sure what would bump it up to the A plus, but you know, it's an A. I was pretty happy with this one. I think it's earned its place in the Disney Princess Pantheon.
Okay. I'm going a little lower, just a little. I'm going a solid B plus on this one.
Okay.
And I think the main thing the reason why, and this is a stupid thing to kind of get on, is I would have liked just a little bit more exploration of the different lands and a little bit more of the different characters that they encountered, the rest of the fellowship that they picked up. I would have liked them to be expanded just a little bit more. But you're dealing with a, hour and a half kids film.
Yeah.
You can't...
So, what do you give it?
I give it a B+.
Well, I think, honestly, if I had to guess, I would say that we are going to see explorations of that in either Disney shorts or a TV show or something. I do not think we have seen the last of the
I seriously doubt it. You know, and there were little things like I love the Indonesian shadow puppets kind of at the beginning, but then Raya's father gives us the entire exposition again.
Yeah.
So it's like you either get rid of the opening or exactly, or get rid of the segment. Why are we repeating ourselves? You know, and they do little things like that a bit. There's little storytelling things I would have liked to have seen cleaned up. But on the whole,
in honesty, like, I think that the writing is probably the weakest aspect of it.
I would agree. I think it's good story.
Good story, good animation, good vocals, but like the actual nuts and bolts writing.
I think the actors really saved the characters.
Oh, they did. Like, they did.
I think the actors and the animation really saved the characters. Writing, they were not as strong. But I agree. I think it was a fun movie. I think it was a very pretty movie. It's one of the prettiest movies I've seen in a long time. And I don't know, one that made you feel good. It was a good. It gave you the feels. It gave you the feels in a good way. So from my little family to all, yes, I think this is a good family pick. Spend the money, watch it on Disney Plus. Gather around. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Okay, so I want to thank my beautiful co-host and my adorable co-host in the back. That's right. Thank you both for joining me. Always a pleasure. And more stuff coming out. At some point, I'm going to look at Godzilla vs. Kong, and we'll see what all the fuss is about.
I don't want to see Godzilla vs.
Well, you don't have to watch Godzilla vs. Kong. so you don't have to worry about it. So thank you all for joining us. Hope everyone's doing well. And as always, drive safe, and I will see you at the movies.